Hello everybody and welcome to another top 5 board gaming video. Today we are going to be talking about the most important part of a board game, the actual board. So you all know that I am not one for aesthetics at all. I don't particularly care about what a game looks like for the most part, and I am much more about function over form, and that is very much what this video is about. I'm going to be talking about games that I find have the best boards in relation to the mechanics and how everything melds together into one nice piece. Now, of course, that said, I would love to hear what you all have to say. When it comes to the actual boards of board games, do you look at the aesthetics? Do you look at just how nice it looks? Do you look at how well it integrates? Or do you look for other specific things? Let me know in the comments below, but with that, we're going to jump right in with my number 5. At number 5, I've got A Study in Emerald. Now, first and foremost, I love putting Lovecraftian games on my lists because it means that I can say this is the Lovecraftian mythos, whatever it is, and I'm fairly certain that it is mythos. But that is completely beside the point. A Study in Emerald is about the Loyalists and the Restorationists, where essentially you've got people who are vying to have the old ones come back and others who are trying to push them away. And so it is a team game in the end, and the idea is that you have different locations where you could have one of the old ones rising up, you could have a good guy standing there and all this sort of thing, and the board itself gives you a lot of information. You've got tracks to see how well each individual clan is doing, and you have individual pieces and cards that show you who is where and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. Overall, a good solid game, but it's at the bottom of the list because there are games that have more information and display it a little bit better, but still, Study in Emerald, my number 5. At number 4, I've got GKR Heavy Hitters, also known as Giant Killer Robots. In this particular game, you are playing as massive, enormous mech units that are going around and destroying the city. Now, this is very low on the list because the board looks good. It looks like a dystopian, destroyed society and destroyed city and all that kind of stuff. And the only real reason that it's on this list for me personally is because of the scale. This is one of the only mech games I have ever seen that actually gets the scale done very well, where you have actual mech units, the actual miniatures, that are the same size as the skyscrapers that they are destroying. And so for me, it's an immersion factor in that sense. Other than that, there's really not a lot of information on the physical board itself. It's still a great game and a ton of fun though. So GKR Heavy Hitters, my number 4. At number 3, I've got Pan Am, the game that came to us kind of by surprise and turned out to be really, really good. It's all about the history of air travel, and it combines elements of things like Ticket to Ride, as well as Stockpile and a bunch of other different things. On the board itself, it gives you information about different plane types and what they're capable of. It shows you the stock prices as they're going up and down. It shows you a lot of information, and most importantly, it does it very, very clearly. One of the great things is that this is an opinion that's shared by a lot of different people, in that this is one of the better boards out there because it just looks nice. It is pleasing to look at. It's not overwhelming, but it does give you a lot of information, and I absolutely love that. And you do have the functionality in terms of the stock prices and knowing about the planes and all of that sort of thing. So all in all, it's a great game with a wonderful board. Pan Am, my number 3. At number 2, I've got Intrepid, newly obtained from Kickstarter for me personally. This is a game that is all about trying to survive on essentially the ISS. And it's wonderful because there is a great scientific backing on it. There are some great physics about it, all of this sort of thing. But you will get very much Battlestar Galactica and Red Alert type vibes from it. The thing is, though, that the board itself is absolutely gorgeous. It's meant to look like a porthole or a window on the ISS looking down on the Earth and showing you all of the different locations that you can go to and everything that's going to potentially be going wrong and all of that sort of thing. Again, it's functional, it's immersive, it's informative, it is everything and more. Plus you have individual player boards where you keep track of your own resources and your own individual things, that whatever it is that you happen to be doing, and all of that kind of stuff. It's a great game. It has a great solo mode as well. I really can't say too much about it. It's absolutely awesome. Intrepid, my number 2. At number 1, I've got Sulkin, the Mayan calendar. By far, this is my favorite board I have ever seen. It has an extremely unique aspect in terms of the functionality, in that the board itself is a mechanic. What you do is you take a massive dial and you turn it for every round that you go through, and that indicates the passage of time. And it moves all of these other connected gears, and it's really incredible. I mean, the design behind it is absolutely brilliant. I legitimately love it, and I have never seen anything like it personally, like I said. And so for me, it's way beyond everything else because it is both form and function. It looks gorgeous. It fits the theme extremely well, and on top of that, it's a worker placement with the fundamental idea being that the longer you have your workers stay on their little gears, the better stuff you can potentially get. Sulkin, the Mayan calendar, by a long shot, my number one. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video on my top 5 favorite boards in board gaming. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am a little bit more about function over form, although I do like melding the two together when it's possible. The thing is that having a board that is truly part of the game and is integrated heavily into the game, or gives you a lot of information at a brief glance that you don't have to dig around and dig through a whole bunch of different symbols and all of this kind of thing just to try and figure out what's going on, is a huge win in my book. But that said, I know that opinions differ greatly. Some people may enjoy something that's extremely simple, like a chessboard, for example. Some people may enjoy something that is simply there to be beautiful, and there is nothing wrong with that. And so I'm curious what you all have to say. Please let me know anything and everything in the comments below, because you know I love to hear it all. And of course, as always, if you haven't done so already, please take a look at my various social media pages where you can interact with myself and my channel in a bunch of really fun ways. But with that, thanks again for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.